this video, I'm going to talk about the technical aspects of choosing resolution when shooting video. I'm going to use FiLMiC Pro to show you how you can achieve great-looking video with your smartphone and a low-cost camera app. Some of the latest smartphones can shoot up to 8K resolution, which is higher than many DSLRs. Some new DSLRs are still limited to HD 1080p resolution when shooting video. But if you don't have a basic understanding of resolution, terms like 8K, HD or 1080p won't mean anything to you. So let's go through the basics of video resolution before I talk about which one to choose. Putting it simply, the resolution setting of your video camera, including FiLMiC Pro, controls the number of pixels within one frame of video. Resolution can be written as the measurement of two dimensions, width and height. For example, 1024 by 768. To work out how many pixels are contained within a frame, you simply complete that multiplication. 1024 times 7068 equals 786,432 pixels. This art is created using just a handful of pixels and is reminiscent of old video games. Of course, we are now used to seeing many more pixels in our modern computer, TV and smartphone screens. Bear in mind, each camera has a maximum and minimum number of pixels it can use for each frame. FiLMiC Pro can provide a range of resolutions depending on your device. Note that in FiLMiC Pro, the resolution you choose will also affect which frame rates are available. As a general rule, yes, more pixels are better as they provide greater detail and information in the image. On the other hand, more pixels per frame means greater processing power is required to record and also play the video. In addition, the more pixels you use, the more hard drive space you will need to store all those pixels. So, as with many factors in filmmaking, we have to consider our practical limitations. Before you choose resolution, you factor in the processing power and hard drive storage space you have available. However, ultimately, there's a general principle for creating polished cinematic video, and that is, the less your audience are aware of pixels, the better. So, the more pixels you have within each frame, the smaller they will be, and therefore less noticeable to the human eye. On the other hand, film lacks the precise definition contained within digital images, so when achieving the film look, do we really need all that extra pixel detail? Open FiLMiC Pro. Tap the settings icon. Select resolution. Tap the left to right arrows to select the desired resolution, and now close the settings menu. Resolution settings available will depend on how FiLMiC Pro works with your device. Using my Samsung S9, I have the following resolution options available: SD 540p, HD 720p, HD 1080p, 2K 1152p, 3K 1836p, and 4K 2160p. The number refers to the height of the frame measured in pixels. Meanwhile, the width of each resolution will be defined by the ratio setting located at the top of the resolution control panel. By default, FiLMiC Pro records in a 16:9 frame ratio. But what do the other letters mean? Terms like standard definition and high definition can mean different things depending on medium or format. If we try to investigate these resolution standards, it's very easy to get lost in a jungle of technical information about TVs, DVDs, Blu-rays and so on. But let's go through a basic overview. With a ratio of 16:9, the standard definition 540p setting will set a frame size of 960 pixels wide by 540 pixels high. This frame size is exactly 1/4 of a full HD 1080p frame in a 16:9 aspect ratio. Now, I recorded 1 minute of SD 540p video with the bitrate set to FiLMiC quality, and the file came out at about 60 megabytes. But standard definition can mean different things in different situations. For example, a standard definition TV might be 704 by 480 pixels, or it might be 704 by 576 pixels, which then becomes 1024 by 576 after horizontal scaling, and so on and so on. And that's just one example. A good old DVD uses standard definition, which in this case means 480 lines of resolution in the US, NTSC, or 576 lines elsewhere, PAL. So like I say, it gets messy, with resolutions changing depending on many different factors. High-definition video has a greater resolution than standard definition. FiLMiC Pro has two HD options, 720p and 1080p. In basic terms, 720p has less definition than 1080p. With a ratio of 16:9, the HD 720p setting will set a frame size of 1280 pixels wide by 720 pixels high. Meanwhile, HD 1080p will set a frame size of 1920 wide by 1080 high. Now, I recorded 1 minute of HD 720p video with the bitrate set to FiLMiC quality, and the file came out at about 117 megabytes. Meanwhile, 1 minute of HD 1080p video with the bitrate set to the same FiLMiC quality came out at about 231 megabytes. Many cameras and other camera apps go directly from HD to 4K with nothing in between. In FiLMiC Pro, however, we have two other settings: 2K and 3K. This is actually quite handy if you want to add a little extra resolution but don't want to go all the way to 4K. I've shot 5 episodes of an Amazon Prime series using FiLMiC Pro and used the 2K resolution setting for all of them. The choice is a nice compromise between quality and file sizes. I still get the option to reframe my shots a little if I need to, while the file sizes are still also manageable. 1152p comes out at 2048 pixels wide by 1152 high. So again, I recorded 1 minute of 2K 1152p video with the bitrate set to FiLMiC quality, and the file came out at about 233 megabytes. The step between 2K and 4K is, surprise surprise, 3K. While 3K doesn't really appear as a normal video shooting format, FiLMiC Pro provide it as an option. Using the 16:9 ratio, their 3K 1836p comes out at 3264 pixels wide by 1836 high. So once more, I recorded 1 minute of 3K 1836p video with the bitrate set to FiLMiC quality, and the file came out at about 232 megabytes. FiLMiC Pro 4K, presumably determined by native smartphone formats, gives us a 4K resolution of 3840 by 2160, which is at the 16:9 standard ratio. So finally, I recorded 1 minute of 4K 2160p video with the bitrate set again to FiLMiC quality, and this time the file came out at about 545 megabytes. The P that comes after the resolution number, e.g. 540p or 1080p, stands for progressive. Now, when I was preparing to shoot my feature film 10 years ago, there was a lot of talk about whether to shoot video interlaced or progressive. The advice was to shoot progressive as this had a more filmic look. So no surprise that an app called FiLMiC Pro would only give us progressive as a choice. And actually, as far as I'm aware, there is no option to shoot interlaced using a smartphone. Correct me if I'm wrong. Indeed, going through the video settings on my Samsung S9, there is no option to switch between progressive and interlaced. If we were able to shoot interlaced video, it would come with an I indicator instead of the P, e.g. 1080i. Anyway, when using FiLMiC Pro, it's not something we need to worry about as there is no interlaced option, but it's probably still worth knowing what that little P means. Below the resolution setting is another control with left and right arrows. This setting controls the bitrate of the video. When we are setting up our camera for video recording, most of us understand the resolution setting. This is directly related to the frame size and ratio, so we can see the difference. When it comes to setting bitrate, it's less clear, but put simply, bitrate is the amount of digital bytes of information being processed by your camera or another device every second. Therefore, bitrate is actually measured in bits per second. But what is video bitrate? Film is a very long strip of celluloid containing thousands of frames. Each frame will be the same quality no matter how you project that frame. This is one of the reasons some people still argue for the use of film, just like the vinyl versus CD or digital file argument. With digital, however, the image information is turned into light, or light turned into image information, using a computer. Video is recorded or played back from a stream of digital information. Your digital camera, projector, or TV requires a processor to convert all this information. So bitrate has a direct influence on the quality of your video. That's why simply increasing resolution for better quality isn't quite the whole story. Putting it simply, a video can only appear with as much information as the processor playing or recording it can manage. Now, FiLMiC Pro doesn't give the bitrate number. Instead, the app has setting names: Economy, Standard, FiLMiC Quality, and FiLMiC Extreme. Economy is the lowest setting with the lowest quality. However, this will create lower file sizes than the other settings. Standard is the same bitrate as your smartphone's native camera app uses. FiLMiC Quality sets your bitrate above your native camera app's normal rate, in this case 32 megabytes per second. FiLMiC Extreme sets your bitrate above your native camera app's normal rate, and in this case 100 megabytes per second for 2K, 3K and 4K. At 1080p, this target is 50 megabytes per second. Now, note the use of the term target bitrate, because FiLMiC say when you set a bitrate in FiLMiC Pro, you are establishing a target for the camera framework. Depending on the quality of the feed, you may see final bitrates that are higher or lower than this target in order to ensure quality. In doing this, we can provide for a high quality while also keeping the video file size as low as possible. While using a higher bitrate should allow better quality videos, file sizes and processor needs also increase. Again, the setting you choose comes back to your setup and how much it can handle. To test how the bitrate setting affects the file size, I set FiLMiC Pro to the extreme setting and once again recorded 1 minute of video. Now, this is the results. One thing that immediately struck me was how file sizes between 1080p to 3K remain the same. Is this something to do with my smartphone's available native video resolution? So my Samsung device lists the resolution slightly differently: high definition, full high definition, quad high definition, and ultra high definition. Like I say, there's no 2K or 3K available, and often FiLMiC Pro is working around what your device can do and what it allows third-party apps access to. The suggestion here is that while 2K and 3K indeed contain more pixels, they aren't actually better video quality than the 1080p setting. So you might want to try this on your device. Do you get the same result, or does 2K and 3K come out with bigger files than 1080p? I would love to know, especially any iPhone shooters out there, so let us know in the comments. However, as a general rule, it is safe to say we should endeavor to record at the highest quality our system and storage resources can handle. While we can always compress video to smaller sizes, going up from a lower quality is pretty much impossible to do without compromising the image. So that's it for this week. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.